Divine Spirit and gracious Creator, we're all here to open ourselves up unconditionally to your divine assistance and continued direction. As well as receiving your healing and guidance, we are fully open and ready to receive and notice signs and blessings. We are truly grateful and thank you. Amen. Please settle your minds and focus on your crown chakra. And when you are ready, open it for Spirit to supply you with its source of energy. As it enters your crown chakra, allow it to rebalance all your chakras, starting with the crown chakra, moving on to the brow chakra, down to the throat chakra, then onto the heart chakra, working its way down to the solar plexus chakra, further down to the sacral chakra, and down to the root chakra. Allow the spirit energy source to visit all your minor chakras to maximize our potential in this circle. Let the energy settle in your body, and when you are ready, move your focus back to your heart chakra and start linking with all other members of this circle unconditionally. Set your intentions on the task we agreed, please, to maximize our ability to make the links to Spirit that we need to achieve. We've come together on the earth plane with the purpose of receiving answers to our questions from our spirit guides and advisors that are happy to link with us. I would like to start by introducing members of our circle tonight. My name is Neil, and with me today is Chris and Adrian. I would like to welcome all members of the Spirit Circle and thank you for believing in us. As we try to lift our energy levels sufficiently to enable you to bridge and make contact through our mediums, we are focusing, excuse me, and offering you the opportunity to link through us. Please link directly through your choice of medium. If you are happy to, link through another medium at the same time as another soul from Spirit does so. Please do. Where possible, we respectfully appreciate confirmation that we have achieved a successful link through either a sense of doing so or even more grateful to hear the spoken word itself. As we try to lift our energy levels in our own circle, and with the help of our own guides and others in spirit, we look forward to making the connection to the Spirit Circle. When we have achieved that, could you confirm when you are ready for me to put questions to you, please?
please sit with us around the fire if you're not already thinking you are. Krishna Rishi. Ahaya. Hello there. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us and welcome to our circle.
Thank you. There's a very light energy this evening. Very peaceful.
That's reassuring.
We've been joined by the animal guides as well this evening.
Okay. What is an animal guide?
Your spirit animals. They've all
Okay.
come in as well.
Do you mean they're observing or they're actually in with us?
No, they're sitting around the fire with the rest of us.
Oh, good. Are they here for anyone specifically in our circle?
No, they've just all come in.
Okay, well, welcome to them as well. Have you settled in now?
Yes, we have settled
Okay.
in.
Okay. When you say we, do we have another visit from spirit?
Yes,
Okay.
we're here too.
Oh, welcome. As you know, my name is Neil. Is it possible to ask you what names you go under, please?
My name is Mahindra Zindi. Richard.
Okay, thank you. Mahindra's India, is that of Indian extraction?
Yes, it is.
Ah, I did wonder. Okay, thank you. Well, you're both very welcome. Thank you. Is it okay if I ask you some questions?
Yes.
Okay. They will be random. I hope that's okay.
The random, the better.
Good. Okay. We understand, obviously, some spirits become soulmates, but how are soulmates connected for the first time in spirit? Is there an online dating service? I make that as a joke, but how do spirits become soulmates?
This is a tough one for the first time. First question of the evening, which is to do with the energy. The energies are very similar, almost like twins on Earth.
Okay.
From the same egg, I suppose, that split. But it is the energies. They intertwine with one another. It's the best way that I can describe it.
Okay, but how do you come across one another? Like when we're on the earth plane, as you know, when we meet people, we have to go out and actually meet with them.
In spirit, it is the same.
Okay.
You do not meet straight away. Again, it is through your journeys. But once you find each other, you stay together.
Okay.
And then when you take a life in a vessel,
Yeah.
because you've chosen your life, depends on how you wish to interact in that lifetime with one another.
Yeah. I understand that. Yeah.
Sometimes it will be as partners, sometimes siblings, sometimes a parent and a sibling, sometimes just best friends. Sometimes you'll take separate lives. So it's not always the case that you are together.
But is it true that when you go back to spirit, you rejoin one another, or choose to anyway?
Yes, we do.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And it doesn't. Time on the earth is time, but once we get up back into the spirit worlds, it does not take long once you are back
Okay.
to catch up with one another.
It's the souls and energies, because they match, it's like a bind. It's powerful. And as soon as you connect with each other from any path, our realm or your realm, that connection and bond is that soul, because we're all one.
Yep.
So it's just like our friend said, just that perfect match and the harmony and the love. It's just instant and it flows through all of us.
And does that bond remain forever?
Eternally.
Okay. That's really very reassuring. Thank you.
That's fine. That's good. It's nice that you ask these questions.
I apologize in advance because some of my questions, I'm known they do get deep and some of them are more lighter.
We've heard.
And until someone from spirit tells me to change my ways, I will carry on doing that. Okay. Changing tack completely. On the earth plane, is drinking alcohol in moderation to be encouraged?
On the earth plane, it's what people have always done. From the times that I was on a ship, we always drank rum. It just made our journey at that time warmer.
Yeah.
It gave you strength. It made your soul feel just stronger. So alcohol is a good thing. You'll always find that people from holy grounds, from different faiths, they will always have alcohol. But too much is not always good.
No. Obviously, some human souls go to extremes, and that's where, although alcohol can be a relief, it becomes
A burden.
a really difficult thing to cope with.
We find people that have passed and rejoined us in spirit through alcohol, use it as a way out for their journey on earth.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's also the path they've chosen, and it's just a path they follow.
But in that example, are you suggesting that that was a pathway that they chose before they came here? That would be their method of exiting the earth?
Yes, they're following their path.
Okay.
I cannot add to that answer.
Okay, thank you.
It is not frowned upon. It does help. It is when those that drown their sorrows get it up from their experiences that they've had. Unfortunately, when it takes a hold of them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it can break up families when it goes to extremes. They can hurt a lot of loved ones.
This is where we must all learn and help one another.
Yeah.
At the early signs, people must learn to talk and tell each other.
I mean, you get some people say you shouldn't have alcohol at all, but I'm a great believer there's different levels, and as you said, in moderation, it helps people relax.
For the human state, it will always make you relax.
Yeah.
And I'd say bring it in a child.
Yes,
if people,
the joy.
Yeah, the joy. And people become what they are. Most people you would find fun.
Yeah.
But if they have a mentality of not so being fun, you can find sometimes maybe a little bit of anger.
Yeah.
So it's every individual soul and person that's living and experiences in life.
Depends on the emotion that is withheld within.
Yeah. What you're suggesting is the alcohol releases the emotions, and it may even be hidden from themselves.
Some people you see that will have alcohol will cry.
Yeah.
That you never see cry.
Yeah.
The same as Richard said, anger can also come.
Yeah.
From somebody that you would not normally see as an angry person.
Yeah. I have seen that on the earth plane. I've seen that. Okay.
We can't drink here. I'd love a drink. But we thrive on that energy that you can throw out.
Can you not recreate that sensation for when you were on the earth plane?
You
And you drank rum?
You can balance on the energy, but you just don't get that kick.
All right.
Maybe in the next life, Richard.
Well, I suppose that's why some spirits choose to come back to
That is why it's called
re-experience.
spirit.
Oh yes. Oh, here we go. I like it. I love it when you show a sense of humor as well. We're all very serious, but we need that sense of humor. Okay. Can you, Richard, you explained your previous life. When was that, and what? How did you live? What did you achieve?
Well, half the time I was on the deck. Just look out. Sometimes we have battles.
How long ago are you talking in terms of time on the Earth plane?
790.
All right. Okay. Long time ago then.
Not from here. It wasn't.
No, but from
Flash.
my stance. Yeah, from my stance. Yeah. What nationality were you?
Britannia.
But were you English? Yeah, British.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. What about you, Mahindra? You know, where was your last life on the Earth plane?
My last life. Was the 1900s.
Okay.
And I was what you would call a guru.
All right.
A religious man.
Yeah, a wise man as well.
Yes. I travelled a lot.
Was that in India?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And how long ago? In our terms.
I have been in spirit the last 62 years of your lives.
Okay. All right. So fairly recent, really.
Yes. For this life.
Yeah. What changes did you see occur during your life? That we know
More poverty. The cars.
Yeah.
The lack of respect.
Okay.
From the travellers that would come over.
What do you believe caused, the increase in poverty?
The corporations that come over.
Yeah.
Other countries. Trying to interfere. Indian people are very friendly, very family orientated. Close to God.
Sorry. Carry on.
No, that is what I'm saying. Sorry.
Okay. I thought Richard said something.
Oh, I was just going to say that wolf beside you is so beautiful. These animals here are beautiful.
There are lots of them this evening. Squirrels. There's an otter.
So what benefit do the animals get from, joining us in our circle?
They're here for the balance
Okay.
and strength, unity.
Oh, I like that one. I like the unity.
It's just, wow, circle of life as well.
Yeah.
You could learn a lot from the animal kingdom, what it brings, the strength, the courage. And just how they look at life. It's just about survival, eating, hunting, praying, and really being part of a pack and working together. Humans used to be like this, but they do change and evolve so much.
I mean, that's the fair observation of what life is like at the moment, that they're all too busy. They have no time for, or very little time for other people.
Everybody has time. They just don't manage it well enough.
I agree. Okay, let's try another one again. Why do some of us here set our personal boundaries better than others?
Inhibition. If you are born with courage, it's because you've put boundaries in place to protect you.
Okay.
I, for one, would never take any nonsense for anyone. If any harm come my way, I would just, well, pull out my sword, and it was the best man that would win. But we all had respect, and that's a big thing. I don't feel as much respect on the earth plane as from some energies that you feel or try to help, because all we do here in spirit is help, guide, push the love, help connect. You do find some situations it's quite difficult for people, but the biggest calling is when we know that they've lost a loved one and are really, well, I would say, crying for help. So we try to send our healing and love around and help the new transitions of the spirit that have come back on our plane, to help them understand and how to, in time, communicate when time is needed for the humans. But luckily for us, time is nothing. So it doesn't matter how quick on earth plane people cry out and need the spirit guides, but we're always listening. We're always here. And through the whole connection, as we're all one, we do feel the time and need to be in a place. That's why we're here now.
Yep.
There's more here. But it's not a very big circle from what we feel, but I'm happy to be here, help, and talk.
Obviously, we live in times now where there's more and more human souls showing interest in spiritual matters or spiritual links. And even though we're a small circle, we do draw interest.
The good thing is people and the world stopped, and the true energy within has shone bright.
Yep.
And that has brought a lot of peace to a lot of people. And times are hard on earth now. We are working hard to help. But it will all come good.
Yeah.
It's just the human spirit, the spirit within.
I think it's been woken up, to be honest with you. Having to deal with the COVID virus worldwide, something that has affected probably every nation. Yes, it has negatives, but there's a lot of positives that have come along with it, I could argue anyway.
Many people have been expecting a change and a balance and a shift, and this is really what it is. It's what we're going through. And I would say the human connection has got stronger.
Yeah. I do just know that people I know who were not open to even discussing these sorts of issues are now receptive to hearing other people's opinions, and I see that as a good sign.
Yeah.
The ego has had time to be quiet, allowing the inner soul to speak louder.
Yeah.
As you know, as a medium, everything is very subtle.
Yeah.
And you have to tune in, because people have had time to sit and contemplate and be quiet.
Yeah.
Taking up the meditations within can now be heard.
So,
and also with the newer, we'll say newer people that have come forward, maybe never have thought about spiritualism or mediumship or healing. It has allowed them to come forward and start to pass it on in a different way, not the old-fashioned ways.
Yeah.
Sorry, Richard.
No, that's perfect.
I mean, this is one of our objects, that some of the questions I ask, I have opinions on, but I'm asking because we do record this, and it may grab the interest of other people watching and listening to the recording and open their minds a bit more. So
Every human can do this.
Yeah.
Some people call it a gift. Everybody has the gift, because everybody is one. You do not need to be gifted, as some may say.
I think that's an advancement that's come forward in the mediumship fraternity, that we were lucky to have met and be guided by our mentor on this earth. And he basically said from day one what you've just said. He doesn't
Yes.
perceive it as a gift. And we learn to have the confidence to learn, maybe learn the process, but to start working,
He's very
has
wise.
which has been wonderful, to be honest. Okay. Let's try a different one now. Did the likes of the Greek and Egyptian gods actually exist, or were they only created as mythological creatures to suggest the concept of life in spirit at that point in time?
So they were not gods, as is written.
Yeah.
But for every story, there is a truth.
Okay.
Maybe some of their illustrations are being perceived as some types of craft.
Okay.
In our culture, the gods came from the stars.
So does that suggest they came from other planets to teach us?
Yes. There are a couple of elders at the moment.
Yeah.
That will allow me to say yes.
Good.
But I must not say any more.
No, thank you for that. Yeah. Unfortunately, I do go near the knuckles, so I do also understand sometimes it's not time for us to know more. And
It is amazing when you get to find out, Neil.
I'm not going to say I can't wait, because I've got too many things to do here. I agree. That's why I meant it. Don't want anyone to turn that into something else. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
The easiest way for me to what I would say I am about to say is a perception of God is not a perception for people to perceive, but when you accept the energies, and as like most people, like you, Neil, are in a balance and know that the energies are one, it just shows that a lot of these gods, what people have made up in religions and stories
Yeah.
are a way for them to share a belief. But if you can't always put a face to a symbolic thing, such as, I'm being told off a little bit, the word God, is difficult because some people like to see a face to understand.
Mm.
But with God, to most people, it's just the energy. And they do write stories upon these things. And that's where a lot of these gods of different faiths have come along over the generations and millenniums and time. But the true people that are within and know who they are,
Yeah.
do understand.
Yeah.
I can't say any more on that.
No, I'm on that wavelength. I understand that. But I can also understand why some information historically has been recorded as it was at the time it was written to create or encourage people to consider the spiritual concept of life after death. You know, I can see why it happened, but we've moved on. I'm not living in those centuries now, but I do question it. But sometimes people take their religious books so
Too far, too
distinctly
seriously.
to the letter,
Yes.
and lay down their own interpretation. And I remember as a young man, I was brought up in one religion and I rejected it. I rebelled against it. I didn't reject the faith. I just rejected the way human souls were managing it and dominating it. But not everyone sees it like that. They're still conditioned because they know no different. You know, they haven't looked within, I suppose we would say now.
They don't look for the balance.
No.
No.
Okay. Thank you. Our souls in spirit, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but ever reset back to their initial point of creation. You know, if they don't recognize maybe things they did wrong in their past life or choose not to, and no one's got the patience to persevere with them, do you ever press a button and say, right, we'll put you back to square one and you can start again?
As in like a reset?
Yeah.
You
That would be the modern terminology. Like with a mobile phone, if it screws up, one of the things you do is you press a button and it goes back to its factory position.
The soul can be in many places. To rewind is something not really possible, but the soul can.
Taking a life on earth can be a mini reset, because as you're living your life now, Neil, you do not know the lives you've had before.
Yeah.
You do not know the sex you was before. So at this current time, you are in a set of reset until you come home. But if you mean when the soul has taken a difficult life, shall we say?
Yeah, I do.
One that may have taken life or lives.
Maybe they've committed atrocities in their life on this planet and they return to spirit and they're given guidance and help to understand perhaps what was wrong about the things they did. And for some reason, they choose not to accept that understanding.
They
I'm
do
trying
not
to
get,
say is, do you ever come
yes,
to a point where you say, right, we've tried so much with you to get you to accept the error of your ways? You know, because some things
from
that
my
happen on the earth plane,
experience
some
and
people
knowledge,
don't like the idea that there is no punishment. That's what I'm getting at.
from my knowledge, there is no full reset.
Okay.
There is no taken back to the very beginning. But a soul that does struggle with what has happened,
Yeah.
they have to go to the elders. And what happens there, and that is not shared.
Okay, thank you.
In my knowledge, I
Yep.
don't know what Richard knows.
That is the way. And for souls that come back, can follow a path and experience different ways on the path and the journey that they've set.
Yeah. I understand that bit, Richard, because you know that to some degree, that's saying once they're in spirit, they understand why they've got to come back to understand and overcome the root cause of maybe what they did. But it's when they choose not to come back, you know, that they don't acknowledge, as I said, that they committed evil atrocities or took a life. You know, we live in a time at the moment where there is a huge and horrible situation with pedophiles. So, and it's hard to understand, you know, how do you cure them of that? That's probably what I'm trying to say is how do you cure them of something that was so evil?
It is difficult.
You know,
It's hard to answer. It would be like what's happening on Earth, like a virus.
yeah. Okay.
That's the best way I could explain it. And when the soul's been through its journey, they do go, I can say a little bit, but they do go and it's difficult. Learn errors of the ways.
Yeah.
But like every soul is a free soul.
Yeah. But we've been told before that in spirit we choose the next life and the pathway. To be honest, maybe see sights of it before we press the button to come back. But it's hard to understand why anyone would choose to come back and live a life as a paedophile and commit the atrocity and then return to spirit. So are there situations where that is pre-planned? Or does it happen?
As a soul, you see the life like a story.
Okay.
So you come to join that human.
Yeah.
And try to better that human's life.
Okay. Right. I never thought of it like that. Okay.
You must see you are one, yes, but there are two.
Yeah.
There is you, Neil, and there is your inner soul, your higher
Yeah.
self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody sees Neil, but there are two.
Okay.
So when the soul joins the vessel, it is to try and help the vessel, the
So
human side.
you're suggesting in that sort of scenario, the soul has chosen the task, if you like, of helping the human soul change from those sorts of ways. Is that right?
To put it on the right path.
Yeah.
Better
Okay.
path,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's a better way of putting it. All right. Thank you.
but learning along the way in how to
Okay.
interact and help.
But what you're also suggesting is there's no guarantee then that
The
they will
human
be
has
successful.
free will.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
We are there to assist.
Right. Okay. That does put it in a slightly different context. I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
Is that how you see it, Richard?
That is the way. It's the chosen path. And yes, we here, I was here to help. And as you say, the free will
Yeah.
doesn't always balance the way it should.
I mean, that can explain in a lot of cases why people's lives go out of balance, really. And then they've got to be picked up and somehow got back on track, which is, I'm presuming, is where the help from spirit comes in, just through trying.
This is what we try and do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, looking at it from a positive, though, in spirit, do you celebrate your successes in spirit? You know, when the whole teamwork produces the right end result, do you celebrate it?
I thrive on energy, and for me, it would be just to keep that energy flowing and the same.
Okay.
It's within the, what would you say, love and compassion of each soul. And when you raise the vibration, and the right vibration works, everything else will fall into place without trying.
Okay.
You must always recognize your achievements. Otherwise, there'd be no point in doing anything.
Yeah.
But also reflect on what maybe you didn't get done at the time and try not to get too down on it. But in spirit, yes, if we have worked our magic, shall we say,
Okay. Yep.
yes, there's nothing wrong with giving yourself a pat on the back, as you might say, to say, yes,
Okay. Yeah.
I achieved that. My goal was set.
Makes sense to me. So. On the Earth plane, can we actually avoid disasters or more easily than we think we can?
That's a difficult one to answer. You
Yeah,
could be in a place at the wrong time, but it could be at the time that you've chosen for the experience. natural disasters are a way for balance, even though when people would say get hurt and emotions run high, but the balance is always needed.
Okay.
When you say with the disasters, do not forget that people learn from these. They suddenly become strong.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as well, like with the balance, there are those that lose life or lose mobility, but it also helps with the growth and those experiences of the life's journeys for other souls.
No, I understand that because I can personally react to that. So, when certain things happen, you have no idea why they happened at the time, but at some time in the future, you do recognize that you learned something from it.
Many lessons are learned
Yeah.
from disasters, but disasters do give, I would say, the people more courage, strength,
Love.
yes, to prevail and just to understand. And when you feel that love, understanding, and compassion, it's worth the fight. But without the disaster,
Yeah.
they would never have these feelings or emotions within. So, even though disasters on some levels can be heart-wrenching for people, we feel it does change the shift and the dimension, but it helps all of us unite as one and the balance and working in harmony. So even us here, we learn from these disasters as well as you do on Earth. But I would say from disaster, it does bring people and the spirits within closer.
Mm. Mm.
But it's
Tends,
how you look at it. It's how you look at it. As a
Mm.
human, you would look at it sometimes differently.
yeah, as a human, you don't always see it at the time, but maybe when you look back, you actually see some benefits. Let's put it like that. It's the wrong word, but in
No,
terms of
that's
your
a good word.
in terms of your development.
You learn, develop, and benefit from
Mm.
being through a situation that you would not be comfortable with.
Yeah.
Part of life.
I speak for myself there. That doesn't, not saying everyone sees it that way. Okay. Who in spirit decides whether any changes need to be applied to human life on the earth plane, and how is it re-engineered? Through the centuries.
The instruction is passed down from above.
Okay.
That is all I can say.
Yeah.
It
You
is.
just receive it.
The elders help guide, but sometimes they need their guidance from higher.
Okay. Yep. Fair enough. Would that be the same for whoever or what makes changes to human DNA structures? Because we've been previously told that there are various DNA structures for different groups of humans. Who caused those to be created?
The Great Spirit
Okay.
created everything,
All right.
including the universe and everything within.
Okay.
The DNA, what you would call on Earth, is like an identity.
Yeah.
But the soul doesn't have an identity. It's the energy. That's all I can say.
Okay. I suppose the DNA is more relevant to the human vessel, then. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's just that one of the spirits recently suggested that we have different nations on the earth, and all the DNAs were different for different groups, for nations as well. And there was also suggestion they weren't all originally natural to the Earth planet. They came here.
That is true.
Yes,
So
this is true.
in a way, we've become a mismatch of people that have emigrated here with the original inhabitants.
I could get into trouble for this, but it could be another one of God's playgrounds, shall we say.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh,
Suppose it doesn't matter if we all learn from it, does it? Okay. I don't want to get you into trouble, so we'll leave that one there.
No, I was jesting.
I know.
I asked before I answered.
Okay, good. Do some souls become reclusive when they transit back to spirit? And if they do, why?
well, the souls that come back have to learn so much, and they're guided. Like when you're a human,
Yeah,
you're born and you're guided. So in every way, human or the soul, it's about learning, being guided, and trying to aim for what your path is chosen for in front of you.
okay.
But as a soul, you have to learn so much. And you can be guided for things that you have done on earth. But the guidance, even for what I've been through, is worth the journey, because many lessons can be learned from what you experience and have learned
Okay.
to help guide the people and the souls that need it. But there's so much more.
Okay. How many levels of development are there for souls in spirit? You know, what happens when you reach the top, if there is a top?
Well, when you're
Yes.
home, it's difficult to answer this. When you're home, you will be, well, the knowledge that is here is so many levels. But I would say for me as a soul and my vibration, you can ascertain so much information, but we do always have to ask for permission. And if we are granted the permission, there's more to be learned for us.
Yeah.
So I think on Earth, well, I would have called it a pecking order. And sometimes you're just not to know. But if you work hard like we all do, you are guided and the vibration can grow.
Okay.
And then we can help in other expectations of people that need it for their guidance.
I suppose what I'm asking is, you talk about your elders, but how do you develop yourself to become an elder? Or does that never happen?
There is always an elder. But sometimes you can teach your elders.
Well, I know that has to be true because sometimes children can teach the adults here on the earth plane. So I'm in tune with that.
There are levels.
Yeah.
But it's more like a school, I would say.
Yeah.
From my perception. Your pupils, your teachers, your headmasters. But it's just your experience that you might call the levels. It's difficult to answer, like Richard said.
Okay, fair enough. When you're back home in spirit, what do you enjoy doing most, both of you? You know, what motivates you?
Just
More.
healing and the connection and the love. What would you say? Freedom. The ability to channel your soul in so many ways to help guide. We hear people calling for healing and we work with guides and we just channel that love. It's like an open channel for us, and for me, sharing that love, it's just beautiful, powerful, embracing, and it's all within all of us, and the knowledge to help pass through some people even when they're in their subconscious state. It's like tapping into their dreams. It just helps them.
Okay.
And that to me is what we are all about.
Thank you for that.
Yes, it is very much the same for me. But also, whilst in spirit, I like to go and guide. I come back to the earth and guide.
Do you mean in another life, or alongside another life?
Since I've come back into spirit this time, I come along can I say this without advise you all where you are needed.
Yeah.
When you ask, I like to pop in.
Okay. That's reassuring. I suppose in your life as a guru, you were advising people then, weren't you? Really?
Yes. It's nice because sometimes whilst giving advice, you can learn something new in the situation. And sharing and passing the love and healing at the same time.
It is nice. People crying out for help, you can hear the vibration. People that open up and want to speak to spirit are in touch with us. And the people that pray, we can take their prayer to where it's needed. This is what I love about being here and working.
So I regularly request distant healing for a large number of souls on the earth plane. So is it spirits like yourself that will help me direct the energy?
Yes.
Or link you to the souls on the earth plane that need help for whatever reason?
Yes. You are now understanding how we work.
Yeah, like
properly.
Postmen.
Yes. And for you to call out all the names does make it easier for channel to where it is needed.
Yeah.
And I would say a quicker pace in your time.
We link with the guides of those names that you shout out
Okay.
in your prayers and send the energy.
I mean, I presume you know, but the way I do it, I obviously
Candle flame.
put my request to a candle flame, yeah.
We
But
see it.
I burn the list. Now, I wasn't used to that conceptually when I first got involved. I'm quite at peace with it now. Excuse me. But what does the process of burning the list actually achieve?
For people to burn a list helps put a stop to some pain
Okay.
when the healing is sent. It's a wish for people that write, and for when they have burnt, it's like a closure, and it's a way of signing
Okay.
and sending an ending, and the peace and love and the healing that is needed goes. So I would say, well done and keep up what you do. You have helped thousands without even knowing it all your life.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I don't always know because I take requests from, as they come, a variety. But I'm not saying I know all those souls personally. I don't.
But one of those names that you help, the people that help that person, if they get better quickly,
Yep.
that helps those that help that person.
Okay. Thank you. That makes sense.
Like a drop in the ocean or a puddle, it ripples out.
Yeah. Like someone explained to me recently that someone might be suffering physically with a problem, but the help that goes to them may make them stronger mentally to cope with the pain.
And also helps them
Yeah.
heal others.
And that makes me feel good. It makes me feel positive about it because I can see you don't wave a magic wand necessarily, but you give help.
You help them believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very powerful. And the
I've
intent.
always believed in a lot of situations it's a mindset, but not everyone on the earth plane is in tune with that. You can't suddenly shake them and say, fight your own corner a little bit. So they need help. And that's all there is to it. Okay, thank you.
Well, Neil, you're a beautiful soul. And I'm saying that because I must go.
Thank you very much, Richard, for coming and talking to us. A pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
I must leave as well.
Okay, Melinda. Well, again, same to you. We are very pleased and we're very honoured that you choose to come and join, although there's only a few of us tonight. Early in the new year, we'll probably be back to a full circle. So hopefully,
Yes, we look forward to it.
we can achieve.
Ethos has been running around tonight.
Good. Give my regards to him, please.
I will do.
Thank
He will
you.
obviously come and say that himself as well at some point for you.
Yeah.
We send our love and blessings to you.
Right. And thank everyone and the animals in the spirit circle.
They say thank you back, and your light shines bright.
Oh, thank you. Thank you to the spirit circle tonight. I'm sure you can hear me. We've taken up so much of our time and we thank you for coming through and talking to us. Ethos, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, we look forward to you rejoining us in the new year on this planet in 2022.
And on Friday, my friend.
Oh, good. You remembered. Right.
We will be there.
Good. You'll be very welcome. You're part of our family, even though we're in different planes. So there we go.
We are all one.
Yeah.
Love to you all.
Right. Thank you for your guidance. Time for us now to finish today's question and answer session. We would like to thank Spirit for being here to guide us and working directly with us. That includes our personal guides for their ongoing support and the additional advisors that have joined us here today to give us the benefit of their wisdom. And tonight we've been blessed by being joined by all the animals who chose to join the circle. Thank you for your continued support, which we all fully appreciate and value. We look forward to linking up again with you next time. Before we close the link, we hope you don't mind us spending a few minutes of our time exploring our personal direct links with Spirit. 2 to 3 minutes until I call you back into the room, everyone. Time now to refocus on your crown chakras, please. And as and when you have, close it down to break your link with Spirit. Move any residual energy you don't need down from your crown chakra to your brow chakra, onto your throat chakra, then to your heart chakra, further down to your solar plexus chakra, and onto your sacral chakra, and then to your root chakra. Allow this surplus energy to move down through your legs and body to your feet and ground yourself on Mother Earth, please. When you are sufficiently grounded and in your own time, gently and slowly bring your attention back into the room.